Hey students, welcome to Educate. Let us introduce to you what are functions in calculus. So basically we say that a function is just a relation between two variables where one changes with the other, or we say that it's a relationship between two variables where one variable is dependent on the other. So basically functions are actually overrated in general because functions are what we work with each and every day. We use them in business, we use them in engineering, we use them in physics, we use them almost everywhere in life. So basically, for example, if I say one loaf of bread costs 2 rand, then 2 loaves of bread will cost 4 rand. If I say 3 loaves, it's going to cost 6 rand. If I say 4 loaves, you're still going to keep on multiplying the number of breads by the cost of the bread. So basically, functions are all about the relationship between something and something, where one thing depends on the other. In this case, the cost of the bread is depending on the number of breads possible. In this way, we know that if there is only one bread, we know that is 2 rand. If there are 2 loaves of bread, it's 4 rand. So we can say that the cost of the bread depends on the number of breads. So we say that the cost is a function. So the cost changes. So the cost changes with the number of what? With the number of loaves. So in general, we can express this as a function and say that this is cost as a function of number of breads. So this is cost as a function of number of bread, of loaves, of course. So here you are just trying to say that the cost, which is the function value, the value of the cost depends on the number of breads. So that's all about functions. Basically, functions are about how two things relate and how one variable changes with respect to another. In this case, how the cost changes with relation to the number of bread loaves. So we can take it to a complex Cartesian plane and plot the results. We can actually plot the results. For example, if we say that one bread will be able to cost 2 rands. This is a coordinate. 2 bread loaves will be able to cost 4 rands. This is another coordinate. 3 bread loaves will be able to cost 6 rand. This is another coordinate. So we're basically looking at how the value of y changes with respect to x. So in this case, on the x variable, most of the times we put something that is an independent variable because it is the one that determines what happens on the y-axis. So in a sense here, what do we put on the y-axis? We put the value that changes, the variable that changes with respect to another variable. In this case, the cost, which is a function of the number of breads, it changes with respect to the number of breads. That's why we're going to put the number of breads on the x-axis. So basically, if we plot these points, you can see that when there are 0 breads, then the cost is 0 rand because you haven't paid anything. When there is 1 bread, the cost is 2 rand. You can see that, you can plot that in a Cartesian plane. And then when there are 2 breads, the cost is 4 rand. We can keep plotting the points and we can actually make a graph from it. So the types of graphs differ basically, but the whole point of the graphs, it is to link the coordinates, to link in this case the cost of the bread and the number of breads. So functions are all about the relationship between two variables where one variable changes with respect to another, or where one variable is a function of another, it changes with respect to another variable. So basically, this is a graphical representation of a function. And then this equation, Cn given by 2n, it is actually an algebraic representation of a function. So when you're saying that we are representing a function algebraically, it just simply means that we are writing the relationship between those two variables using a number. Okay, so basically, how do we classify now the functions? So first of all, we've got a one-to-one function. So when you say we've got a one-to-one function, it just means that one x value or one element of the domain is associated with one element of the range. In this case, one x value links to one y value in a coordinate. So for example, you can see that if we plot here, this point here, this blue point here, you can see that it is linking to x is equals to -2, and on the y-axis, it is linking to something like it's -2 as well. So this value, this blue dot here, which is the coordinate, which relates the x value of -2 and the y value of -2, it is only one x value with only one y value. We can do the same here, 0, 0, this point here. It links an x value of 0 and a y value of 0. Continuously, we can do that, and we can plot a graph from it. So basically, we say this is a one-to-one function because for a one-to-one function, one x value has got a particular y value. One number of bread has got a particular price, which is 2 rand, for example. So 2 number of breads will have a particular price, which is 4 rand. 3 number of breads, it will be 6 rand, and so forth and so on. So one x value is associated with one y value. But it can happen that we have a many-to-one function whereby many x values are associated with one y value. Many x values, one y value. That's why we say many-to-one. We always start with the x. When we say many, we are referring to the x, and then one, we are referring to the y. So we're having many x values associated with one y value. Something like this. Look at this function. This is a parabola. I'm sure you've seen something like this in high school or something. So this is a parabola given by the equation y is equals to x squared. If we look at the x value of negative 2 here, this is the x value of negative 2. This x value of negative 2, it is actually linking to 4 on the y-axis. But if you see the value of positive 2 on the x-axis, it is also linking to 4 on the y-axis. So you can see that they are leading to the same point. They are leading to a common point, which is positive 4. So you can say that you have got many x values. In this case, it's negative 2 and 2. Both of them, they are linking to what? To one y value. So this is actually something that is known as a many-to-one function. So it's a relation whereby you have got 2 x values or more, 2 x values, and then they are associated with only one y value. So this is known as a many-to-one function. Many x values to one y value. Or we can have a one-to-many. A one-to-many is not a function. We say it's not a function. Like this circle. If you can see here, basically when we say one-to-many, we are trying to say that we have got one x value to many y values. So this is not regarded as a function. For example, if we say the x value here is 2, and you find out that you've got this, and if you try to see the y values here, there's a certain y value here, maybe it is 3, and then if you trace on the same line of 2, you're gonna say that maybe it's negative 3. So you can see that you've got only one x value associated with many y values. So this is not a function. It's known as a one-to-many relation. It's not a function. It's a relation indeed between the variables, but it is not a function. So a circle is not an example of a function. You can take this one. This is known as an inverse of a parabola. Basically, an inverse of a parabola is not a function as well, because you can see that here, you can take this x value here of 2. If you link it to the y-axis, you are going to find negative 1 and 1. Of course, you can link it here. You can see that on this function, okay, although this is not drawn to scale, but you can see that each and every value, x value here, it has got 2 or more y values. So basically, when you've got one x value associated with many y values, that is not a function. That is known as a one-to-many relation. And how do you even see that this is a one-to-many? This is not a function. How do you prove that something is a function? You employ a vertical line test. So in a vertical line test, basically, you're going to take your ruler and you lay it vertically. It must intersect only at one point if it's a function. The graph must only intersect at one point. For example, if I go to this function here, which I say is a function indeed, a parabola is a function, and I take a vertical line, let's say this is my ruler, I lay it like this. It must only intersect at one point. The graph must only cut the line at one point, and not more than one. So you use your ruler, you do a vertical line test, you just lay a line across the graph. It must not intersect twice, it must only intersect once. Let's look at this one, for example. This is a straight line. This is a function indeed. If I put a vertical line like this, it only intersects at one point. So the vertical line test, whereby you put a vertical line, make sure that's a vertical line. If it's a ruler, make sure that you put it vertically. If it intersects at only one point, we say that it's a what? It is a function. But if it intersects twice or more than twice or more than that, then you say it's not a function. For example, in a one-to-many relation, if you put a vertical line like this red line here, if you put it, it intersects twice. It intersects here at this point where I'm painting with black. It also intersects at this point. So basically it's intersecting at 2 points. So the fact that this is intersecting at 2 points, it means that this is not a function. So that's how you test. If you put a vertical line on this circle, which we say is not a function, it intersects at 2 points. At this point, there's an intersection. At this point, the graph also casts the line. So if you do a vertical line test, you must be able to see that this is a function or not. So a vertical line test must be employed to test if this is a function or this is not a function. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in to our next video on polynomials and their inverses.